We often think of wisdom as something we have to go out and find, right? Something external. But what if the map to everything you're looking for was already built right into you? Today, we're diving into a fascinating framework that suggests exactly that.
The map to the cosmos is already etched upon your spine. I mean, that's a pretty powerful statement, isn't it? What could that possibly mean? It suggests that maybe the secrets to consciousness aren't way out there in the stars, but right here, inside of us. So let's unpack this.
So what is this map we're talking about? Well, it's a direct reference to a really ancient yogic system, an internal energetic circuit. And this circuit is made up of what the source material calls the 7 spinning lights.
And here they are, the chakras. The word literally means wheels. You can think of them as these spinning vortexes of energy, all lined up along your spine, from the very base all the way up to the crown of your head. And each one acts like a gate, or a control center, governing very specific parts of who you are, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Now, every circuit needs power, right? The fuel for this entire system is what's called prana. You can just think of it as your vital life force energy. It's like the electricity running through that circuit. And here's the kicker. Where you direct this energy and how clear that flow is, that's what directly shapes your state of consciousness.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at how we use this energy. For just normal, everyday speech, we're pulling that prana, that energy, from our lower centers, the gut, the throat. But for that deep, silent kind of focus, the kind you see in a genius or a savant, it's a whole different ballgame. All of that available energy gets rerouted, pushed straight upward into the highest centers of the mind.
Okay, so with that framework in mind, let's use it to map out a very specific and pretty fascinating state of mind, what the source calls the silent genius. How can this energy map explain their totally unique abilities and also their challenges?
This table breaks it down perfectly. Look at this. In this state of mind, the throat chakra, which is our hub for expression and speaking, is actually blocked. It's a locked gate. Now, because that energy has nowhere to go, it's forced upwards. What's the result? The third eye becomes this overcharged receiver, a master controller for insane levels of visualization. And the crown chakra? It becomes like a permanently open antenna, constantly pulling in subtle information. So let's just boil this down. You've got this massive, incredible rush of insight and nonverbal wisdom, pure prana, flooding the higher centers of the brain. But, bam, it hits a locked door at the throat. It has no conventional way to get out. You can just imagine this creates an incredibly profound internal reality that is super difficult to express to the outside world.
So if that's the problem, you got to ask, what's the solution? Is there a way to intentionally direct this energy, to unlock our own inner gates? Well, the source material points to a very practical yogic method for doing just that. And it's called dharana. At its core, it's the art of sustained, single-pointed concentration. That's it. It's about learning to control your focus so that you can, in turn, learn to control the flow of your own life force energy. It's literally about becoming the master of your own inner gates.
So how do you actually do this in practice? It really comes down to 3 key actions. First, consciously clearing that throat center by focusing on pure, harmonious thoughts. Second, activating the third eye by literally holding your focus on the point between your eyebrows to sharpen your ability to visualize. And finally, tuning the crown by letting go of the ego, which turns you into a much better antenna for that subtle, intuitive information.
Okay, theory is great and all, but practice is where the real magic happens. So the source actually provides a practical exercise to train this exact skill. Let's walk through it. It's called the Ajna Beam.
This is a really powerful but simple exercise you can try anytime you have a quiet moment. First, just get comfortable and close your eyes. As you inhale, imagine this column of bright silver light rising right up your spine to the point between your eyebrows. Then, as you exhale, just let that light stabilize and become steady. Now here's the real focus point. Inside that beam of light, create a perfect geometric shape, like a cube. And the test, the real challenge, is to hold that shape perfectly steady, without it blurring, wobbling, or changing for 1 full minute.
So why a shape? Why not a word or a mantra? It's because this specific skill, dharana, or focus concentration on a non-verbal object, this is the absolute foundation for that architecture of genius we've been talking about. It's a direct way to train your mind to operate on that more focused,
visual and subtle frequency.
So, what we've looked at today is this incredible map of our own inner world. A map that suggests that with practice, with focus, we can consciously direct the flow of our own awareness and maybe unlock things we never thought possible. So the final question, the one I'll leave you with, is a personal one. You've been given the map. Where are you going to direct your focus?